What's up, guys? Just to update you a little bit on what's going on in our lives. Husband's just gone off to work with his broken ankle. I got the flu. Lots of coughing, not much sleeping. Here's the plan. I'm going to take 2 days off work. I'm going to rest and try and get better. So initially, my plan for today is to make myself a supercharged juice with some good vitamin C packed kiwi fruit and get that into me. And then once I've done that, I think I might try and do a little bit of research, because there's a trip that I would like to do. So recently our eyes have been open to the world of trail running, but further afield than just home. So we've registered for Tarawera in February next year, which is super exciting. I got an email today actually from Tarawera race organisers saying, how's my training going? And you know, I was on a streak. I was running 5 times a week. I've done that for 5 weeks now, and now this week not happening, but that's okay because I need to get better and then I'll get back into it. So super excited for Tarawera. And someone's just started whippersnippering in the background, so I might move inside. Okay. Right, so where was I? We're already in August and the event's in February. So I have been building a bit of a base, but I've got to start up in the Ks pretty soon. So I'm going to give that a crack and see how we go. But in the meantime, I'm just concerned about feeling better, getting rid of this lurgy that I've got that I think half of Brisbane has. So I'll spend my time doing some other things. So I'm going to make myself a vitamin C packed juice to try and boost my immune system a little bit and help me feel a little bit better for the afternoon. I'm going to then do some planning, because since I've been watching a lot more trail runners on YouTube, I've got this fire that's been lit inside me to go and experience some of these amazing places for myself with the husband. I kind of feel like I've been sitting in my lounge room watching TV for 20 years and all this has always been there, and I just have let it go and not gone out and sorted out. It's time now to reconnect with all that stuff. I've got some plans for a couple of trips next year. Obviously, the finances have to come up to meet that. So I've got to work out how it's going to happen. It's just a matter of planning and maybe some sacrifices along the way for us. So yeah, that's the plan for this afternoon. I think there's some snow peas I need to pick. There's a chilli I need to pick, and I believe I have some tomatoes that should be ready soon, and I haven't actually been out to the garden for a few days. So I better go and have a look at those as well, and that's pretty much my day. Alright, now for the planning side of the afternoon. Okay, so the 2 places I want to visit at the moment are the Dolomites. Just amazing. Looks spectacular. A little bit of trail running. I know there's events. I don't think I'm up to them. Having experienced what I just did going through the UTA footage, I think it's safe to say we need to leave the events to the experts for a while. But that doesn't mean I can't go there and do some trail running and do some training and just hang out. I want to go everywhere through Italy, but this time I'd just like to go and sit and soak up the atmosphere at Cortina or one of the villages nearby, and do a trail run every couple of days, maybe a little bike tour or something like that, and just chill out and eat and run and take in the scenery. The second part of this journey involves the other side of the country, well, actually over the border. So I'd really like to go to Chamonix. The plan would be, I would think, with very minimal research at this point, to go from Australia to Venice, drive to Cortina, stay a week in Cortina, drive a little Fiat across Italy, seeing what we can along the way, heading across the border and going into Chamonix and staying there for another week. So it would pretty much be point to point. You know, it's about sitting in cafes, looking out at the mountains, doing a trail run every morning, sleeping in and having a holiday, but just seeing that spectacular scenery for myself. It's really important to me suddenly. I don't know why. But anyway, so to get there, to both of those places, it's going to take some dosh, man. Dosh is something I'm a bit light on. The elevation of the Dolomites, according to Mr. Google, is around 3,343 metres. So, let's start with that figure. Because we're talking mountains, let's just make ourselves a little bit of a scale up the side here. We might go all the way up, and we might say that 3,343 might be about here. If we say that that's in elevation, 3,343 metres, which is stop number 1 on our trip. Now, stop number 2 on our trip, the glorious and majestic Mont Blanc, has an elevation of 4,810 metres. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like 8,153 metres. Yay! So then next to the Dolomites, we're going to put Mont Blanc, and it's going to go all the way. All the way. For argument's sake, if flights to Italy, we're going Brisbane to Venice, seem to be looking at around $1,600 to $2,000 a person. Let's say 180. So there's 2 of us. So if we're going to go 180, return flights each, accommodation each place for a week will be about $2,500 all up. $6,100 innies. So for $6,100 we can get there and we can stay there, and then the rest is just on top. So I reckon a nice savings goal will be $8,153 or meters. I'm going to have to get fitter. So in order to do that, I think a nice goal would be to reach some sort of an elevation goal every week. So before I got sick, I was aiming for 1,000 metres a week, which I know is minuscule in the world of mountain trail runners. I am not a mountain trail runner. We live in one of the flattest parts of this state. And I'm just getting started at this. You've got to start somewhere. So I'm happy to start with 1,000 metres a week. And if that means going up and down a suburban street that happens to have a hill on it, so be it. That's how I'll get there. But I think a good goal here is to work out some sort of a timeline and work out what sort of elevation we want to get in that timeline and how I'm going to build on it. So I'm going to have to give that a bit more thought, because clearly reaching 8,153 metres of vertical is not going to do it. However, reaching 81,530 metres of vertical in the coming months, or maybe the year it's going to take to save for this trip, might be the way to go. So, what I've learned is I've got to save $8,153 to get me to Mont Blanc and the Dolomites next year. and I reckon that can be done. Already we've saved quite a slab of money on our weekly groceries because we used to have 2 young adults living at home, and now we've only got one half of an adult, really, because he's only here half of the week. So that saved us a lot of money. Our power bills come down significantly. And I think there's a few other ways that we can squirrel some money away. So I reckon this is a possibility. We've been wanting to do trips like this, and for years we've made the mistake of going, oh, that'll cost too much, and compensating with smaller trips to other places. I've been to Southeast Asia quite a few times now because from Australia it's cheap, it's quick to get there, you don't need as much travel time, and so we've done that trip. And also to the South Pacific, you do a $4,000 holiday to Vanuatu or Fiji, and you're halfway towards an $8,153 holiday to Italy. It's just a matter of priorities, really, and I think that's what my priority is now. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to stick this somewhere where we can look at it and add to it along the way when we start saving some money, and have a bit of a goal chart to aim for. I'm already sitting here editing this footage and bringing it in, and I'm still chugging on this baby. It's a little bit hard to get through. It's quite thick. Maybe I should have put a little bit more water in it, but I'm sure it's doing me good. But yeah, it's just a bit textury. So when you have a drink, you sort of have to kind of chew it as well. But that's all right. It's not the most pleasant. Maybe I'll try a cold pressed next time. I don't know. I just couldn't be bothered. I don't feel great. This was the answer.